The Eclipse environment has a very powerful debugger built into it. In this video, we'll use the Eclipse Debugger to step through a very simple Java program that reads 5 numbers into an array, finds the maximum number in the array, and then prints out the maximum number. Before starting the debugger, we'll insert a breakpoint at the first line in main. The program will run normally until it reaches the first breakpoint, where we'll have the opportunity to interact with it. We insert the breakpoint by right-clicking on the gray bar to the left of the line of code and selecting Toggle Breakpoint. Eclipse displays a blue circle to the left to know us there is a breakpoint. Now, we'll push the Debug button to start debugging. Alternatively, we could right-click on the file in Package Explorer and select Debug As, then Java Application. Eclipse now asks if I want to switch to the debug perspective. I'll say yes. You'll likely want to check the box to remember my decision so you don't get asked this question again. Eclipse has now split the screen into several parts. In the top left is a section labeled Debug, which tracks where the program is executing. Middle left is our source code. A green line highlights where the program has stopped. Bottom is the console, where system.outs will print. Top right is a view of variables, and middle right is an outline showing the methods in the program. For simple programs, I find this view rather cluttered. You can drag around the tabs. Here, I'll move the Debug tab down to the bottom, and then the Variables tab next to Outline, and then the Breakpoints tab next to Outline. If you mess things up, you can select Windows, Reset Perspective, and Start Over. You can also save a perspective you like using Window, Save Perspective As. I'll put things back the way I like them for simple programs. Eclipse remembers your preferences, and the next time you open it, the windows will appear the same way. Along the top of the screen, we now have buttons to play, which means to continue to the next breakpoint, pause, stop the debugger, step into, step over, and step out. Step over means to run to the next line of code. If this line of code is a method call, the entire method will complete. Step into will go into the called method. Pressing Step Over, note the green line has now moved down to the next line of code. We can now look back at the Variables tab, and we see that my array is visible, and by clicking on it, we see that it has 5 zeros in it. Clicking on the triangle to its left, we see it expanded out, showing the indices from 0 to 4. We'll now press Step Into. This will actually enter the method getValues and stop at its first line of code. We can now step through this method using Step Over. After some number of steps, you'll see that the buttons are grayed out. This is because the program is waiting for input. The Console tab is where printlns are displayed and where we type input. Clicking on that, we can enter the number and continue. Rather than stepping through this entire method, I'll use Step Out, which runs the method to completion and stops at the line following it. I'll then go through and type each of the next 4 numbers to fill the array. After finishing this, we're now back in main at the println. I'll add another breakpoint at the start of FindMax, and then hit the play button to run to the next breakpoint. On the Variables tab, we can add our own watches. Those are expressions that we want to track. For example, I can right-click, select Watch, and enter Array 3. This creates a new tab called Expressions, where I will always be able to see that value. Another thing I can do is evaluate more complicated expressions. First, I'll step to the if statement. If I want to know whether the expression in the if will be true or false, I can type array I greater than max. You'll see that it is false. One thing that could be confusing is that when the program has completed, you are still left in the debugging view. Also, all the expressions you entered will still be there, even if you switch to another program. To clear the expressions, you can push the Remove All button. You can also select expressions, hold down Shift to select more than one, and remove them. If you've accidentally closed one of the Debug View windows, you can get it back by clicking on the Window menu, then Show View, then selecting the view you closed. To get back to the normal view after you've done debugging, push the Java button in the upper right corner. Using a debugger can allow you to go through your program step by step and see what is happening and where it is going wrong. You can download the program used in this video at java.martincarlisle.com.